So here's a thought.
Yeah.
What feels more real to you? Is it the world you can, see and touch?
Hmm.
Or is there maybe something else? Something, I don't know, deeper, maybe within?
That's a huge question, isn't it? Something people have grappled with forever, that sense that maybe what we see isn't quite the whole picture.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
that feeling, that question is really the launch pad for our deep dive today.
Right.
We're exploring a manuscript called Believing, Becoming Being. It's by Hans Bannis.
Yeah, and it's important to note this isn't like a formal academic work or a strict religious text.
No?
The author, Bennis, he's very clear this is his personal journey, drawing insights from a pretty wide mix of
And
sources.
quite a mix it is. We're talking things like the Urantia book, A
Mm.
Course in
Little
Miracles,
ones.
alongside thinkers like David Hawkins, Ernest Holmes, Emerson, Neil Donald Walsh, Walter Stark, Michael Singer. I mean, the list goes on.
It's a real synthesis.
Mhm.
So our mission here really is to pull out the core threads from this, very personal exploration
Yeah, to look at this particular angle on spirituality, truth, reality.
and hopefully help you unpack what it might mean to look for truth, not out there somewhere, but well, within yourself.
Okay, so let's jump right in. The author's starting point kind of challenges the usual idea, doesn't it?
Mhm.
That truth is just handed down or found only in the physical world.
Exactly. He argues truth isn't just found, it's unveiled.
Unveiled.
Yeah. Through things like stillness, study, really questioning things, and crucially, looking within. That's the key.
He mentions his own kind of struggle with this early on, right? The
Yeah.
physical world versus this invisible world he felt inside.
Yeah, he describes that inner searching leading to what he calls his first contact with the inner self, my spirit within.
And that connection, that's
Yeah.
foundational.
Absolutely. It's presented as the bedrock for any real spiritual awakening, recognizing you're more than just this physical body. There's an energy, a spirit.
And he has a warning right at the start, too, doesn't he? About just adopting beliefs wholesale.
Oh, yeah, a strong one. He says, the absolute worst thing one can do is to make another's belief system their own without proper introspection.
So you have to do the work yourself.
Totally. Question everything, especially your assumptions about, physical reality. Seek that inner clarity. Don't just take someone else's word for it.
Now, this inner journey, for him, involved guides. He talks about Malachi.
Right, described as a trusted spiritual guide, an ancient messenger identified more by vibration and consciousness than a specific name.
There's also a teacher figure mentioned.
Yes, another guide.
And he asks Malachi the big one, who is God?
And the response is fascinating because Malachi doesn't give a straight answer. He kind of redirects.
How so?
He suggests God isn't a who, maybe more of a what or a why.
Interesting.
But then he says the really important question for the author, for Hans, is who am I?
Ah, the classic turn inward. So what's the answer given in the text? Who am I?
The core idea is you are an expression of God personified. God is experiencing through you. You're not separate. You're part of this oneness.
And feeling separate, that's the struggle.
That's presented as the root of the struggle. So realizing that God center within yourself is the key.
Okay, so starting from that, you are an expression of God. The manuscript lays out a kind of roadmap.
Yeah, a 3-step roadmap towards eternal enlightenment, as he puts it. Believing, becoming, and being.
Believing first. What does that entail? Is it just believing?
It's more active than passive belief. It requires letting go of the purely material, illusionary reality.
The everyday world we see.
Right. And sort of coming home to your, let's say, true spiritual nature,
And that act of believing, that shift, kicks off the next stage.
which is becoming. Yes.
And becoming leads to.
Being, that's the culmination, described as a state of, grace and glory.
This whole path that leads to the I am.
Exactly. It's where belief hardens into knowing. Where becoming isn't a chore, it's just how you live. And being is, being fully realized.
He sums it up nicely, doesn't he?
Yeah. Know it, live it, and be it.
And the it is.
Your spiritual self, the I am, not your job title or, your social role.
The whole thing is framed as a kind of spiritual resurrection.
Waking up to who you fundamentally are. Yeah.
Okay, to navigate this, we need to understand the landscape, the nature of reality, according to this text. It's not just physical.
No, definitely not. It talks about multiple layers, emotional, spiritual.
Beyond the physical.
Right. And truth, in this view, originates in that intangible spiritual realm. Physical reality is seen as a kind of further slowing of vibration, like energy solidifying almost.
And where does the ego fit into this picture?
The ego is seen as something that comes with physical birth. Starts out helping with basic needs, survival,
Necessary initially.
but it can become this selfish march.
Mm.
And crucially, the ego is what creates the illusion of separation. That feeling that you're separate from God, separate from others, it reinforces dualities. Me, you, right, wrong?
And society often reinforces that.
Absolutely. So the ego becomes a big hurdle for spiritual growth, for that investigative freedom we talked about.
So letting go of the ego is essential for spiritual liberation.
That's the term used, yeah. Though it's noted that while you're physical, some minimal ego tied to identity probably remains, but it dissolves completely at physical death.
So if the ego is the obstacle, how do you actually work on letting it go? How do you move towards that spiritual self?
The text connects it directly to raising your consciousness, your vibration.
Vibration. How does that work?
It references models like David Hawkins' map of consciousness, levels from fear and shame way down low, up to peace, joy, enlightenment higher up.
Right, I've heard of that scale.
And there's a key threshold mentioned around level 250, neutrality, willingness, that sort of area.
And the significance of that level.
Below it, the ego, the analytical mind, tends to dominate. But above 250, the heart starts to get more involved.
The heart.
Yeah, leading to spiritual awareness. The text says explicitly, the mind can only take you so far. It's the heart which really raises one's spiritual awareness.
So higher vibration, higher consciousness. They go hand in hand.
As your vibration increases, so does your consciousness. It's presented as a direct link.
Okay, that makes sense conceptually. But practically, how do you raise your vibration? What does the manuscript suggest?
Several things. First, you actually have to want it. Conscious intention.
Okay.
Then forgiveness is huge, especially forgiving yourself.
That's often the hardest part.
Definitely. Also, compassion, non-judgment towards others, living a life of service, cultivating gratitude.
Gratitude seems key in many traditions.
Especially for the now, the present moment. Being present, monitoring your thoughts, not letting them run wild in practices like prayer and meditation.
It sounds like a lot, but he boiled it down, right?
Yeah, beautifully simple. Basically, do good, be good, and think good in everything I say and do, without exception.
Wow, that covers it.
Or even simpler, follow your heart.
Because life is about love from the heart, not power from the mind.
Exactly. That's the core energy switch proposed.
And following the heart, raising vibration, this leads somewhere specific.
It leads towards what the author calls the silence.
The silence. What is that?
It's described as the ultimate letting go, where the chatter of the mind just stops.
Just the heart remains.
Essentially, a moment of pure clarity, where only truth exists and you can hear that small voice of God.
A direct line.
That's the idea. He suggests all you ever wish to know resides there.
But you can't get there easily.
No, you have to let go of the mindful baggage, the worries, the ego's agenda. You can't carry that stuff in.
Underpinning all of this, he introduces foundational concepts.
Pillars.
4 pillars of divinity, yes.
HR.
Truth, love, peace, and joy.
Okay.
And these aren't just nice ideas. They're described as the core vibrations of the universe. Universal, beyond any single religion or culture.
A framework for development. A holistic framework engaging intellect, heart, soul, experience. And understanding them depends on knowing who you really are.
And their energy, not abstract.
Absolute energy. And interconnected, one cannot exist without the other.
Right. So truth, we've touched on finding it within. It's the essence, demonstrated through being.
Then love, described as the energy of truth.
Divine love, specifically.
Yes, unconditional, infinite, unchanging, omnipresent. Different from human love, which can be conditional.
Love is, love always was, and love always will be. Powerful.
It's the highest energy, apparently, though our human form kind of limits how much we can experience it, and it becomes real for us when we give it away, when we bestow it.
Then peace,
Yeah.
the still center.
Equilibrium, arising when the physical and spiritual self align. It doesn't tolerate or judge, it simply accepts. Unconditional, like love.
So finding peace means finding it within.
Within one's own soul, which is seen as being at one with God. And importantly, fear can't coexist with peace. They're opposites.
And the 4th pillar,
Joy, which is described as the experience of peace.
what makes up joy in this view?
Things like gratitude, really embracing the present. Connection, feeling part of the oneness. Purpose, that soul energy flowing out, your calling.
Linked to Stark's third appearance.
Exactly. Also, playfulness, like a child, and of course, love underlies it all.
And this isn't something you chase externally.
No, the idea is it's already within you. Embracing these qualities, gratitude, connection, purpose, playfulness, love awakens the joy. You don't just feel it, you become joy.
Okay, let's shift slightly. The manuscript tackles the idea of sin, but maybe not in the way people usually think about it.
Right. It questions the typical lists of rules, do's and don'ts, rights and wrongs from society or religion.
So what is sin, according to this text?
The greatest sin isn't breaking some external rule or failing to get forgiveness from outside. It's presented as a sin against yourself.
How so?
By denying who you really are, denying that you're an expression of God, that you're one with God.
Wow, that flips the script.
It really brings it back to that core message. Real happiness, real purpose, isn't out there in possessions or status or external beliefs.
Hit the deep within the self.
Exactly. And the fundamental truth making that possible is oneness.
Can you restate that core belief?
We are inherently expressions of God. We are a part of the universal whole. We are one with God.
And the purpose of life, then?
Simply to awaken to who you really are, to realize that oneness, that's it.
This awakening involves progression in belief, doesn't it? From believing to
Believing leads to faith, and faith leads to knowing.
knowing being.
That deep-set conviction that cannot be shaken, internal certainty regardless of external appearances.
In faith, how's that defined?
As knowing things are so despite what your outside world is revealing, it's active. An energy, something you do. A power in how you perceive things. Echoes of Starkey there, too.
And there's a paradox mentioned about letting go of beliefs.
Yeah, it's beautifully put. To truly live your beliefs, you eventually need to let go of your beliefs. Because once they're lived, experienced, they stop being mere beliefs and become knowing, based on that unshakable faith from direct experience.
Yeah, this journey of becoming, does it end when you figure things out in this life?
Apparently not. The text suggests the divine is dynamic, never static, so the journey of becoming continues.
You keep evolving.
Learning, deepening your spirituality throughout life, and even beyond physical life.
Which leads us to the perspective on death. How is that framed?
It's framed very differently from an ending. Physical death is not real in an ultimate sense.
So what is it?
A birth to a new life, a gateway to enlightenment, a rebirth into love and peace and joy.
So the journey continues after physical death.
Yes, it talks about stages of learning and transformation, mentioning concepts like the Morontia mansions from the Urantia book Transitional Realms, progressing through universal levels towards, well, perfection.
And the author describes a personal experience, a coming home.
Yes, an experience of being immersed in incredible light, love, peace, joy, reunion, deep understanding of interconnectedness, the full realization of I am.
What about salvation in this context?
Defined incredibly simply, salvation is the moment you realize and embrace your spiritual self, the moment you become fully awake.
It's an awakening, not a future reward.
Exactly. A present potential realized through self-awareness.
So, okay, you have this awareness, this awakening. How do you live it day to day?
Through something called living prayer.
Which isn't just asking for stuff.
No, not at all. It's more like a constant conversing with the inner self, listening, and ultimately just being in that state of connection.
When prayer becomes being,
Consciousness rises towards enlightenment. It becomes your default state.
are there simpler daily practices mentioned?
Definitely. Back to that core idea. Do good and be good and think good in everything you say and do without exception.
Simple but profound.
Showing kindness. Being grateful even for a meal. Acknowledging all the energy involved. Monitoring thoughts. Maybe using techniques like Singer suggests to detach from negativity. Using mantras. Small things consistently.
And core values that support this.
Forgiveness is central, starting with the self. Non-judgment really allowing others their own path to create their own lives. And acceptance embracing others, your brother.
All based on that shared divinity.
Understanding that connection to divine love, universal brotherhood, equality.
Yeah. There's also mention of the 5 precepts.
Briefly, yeah. As a kind of practical framework for embodying these principles, not killing, generosity, truthfulness, mindful consumption, sexual responsibility, guidelines for action.
All these practices, this understanding, it all points back to that ultimate stage, being.
Right. That moment or maybe state of fully realizing who you really are.
Where the ego dissolves.
No ego, only divine truth. And this feeling of immense and intense love exploding to be shared.
This is the holy moment. linked again to Stark's third appearance.
Yes. The merging of the physical and spiritual self. The moment Jesus became the Christ, and the text stresses, that same potential exists within everyone.
So it's not about being born again, but remembering your inherent holiness.
Remembering what you already are, exactly. And being is this expansive energy. It cannot be kept within, but must be shared. It's all-inclusive.
And the ultimate realization in that state
The profound understanding that love is all there is.
circles back.
Beautifully, as you awaken to love, you find that love is reality. When you embrace love is here, love is there, love is everywhere, then the manuscript says you know God.
Wow. That was quite a journey through this manuscript's perspective, from looking within,
Through believing, becoming, being, shedding the ego,
understanding the four pillars: truth, love,
Yeah.
peace, joy,
seeing the journey continue beyond the physical, and using daily practices.
all leading back to being oneness and divine love.
And it's good to remember this is one person's deep dive, his synthesis using specific sources. It offers a particular, consistent way to look at these massive questions.
Yeah, definitely a framework that can challenge how you see things. Reality, purpose, even death. Offers a different lens.
Absolutely.
So just thinking about this lens, this idea that everything has purpose, that you are an expression of the divine, that your truth is within. How might holding that perspective, even lightly, change how you approach, well, your next conversation, or the next challenge you face, or even just how you experience your very next breath?
That's the question to ponder, isn't it? Something to take with you.
Indeed. Until our next deep dive,